The Royal Enfield, or in the Indian language, the Bullet. There must be a person in India who has not heard of the Bullet. For boys, listening to its sound is a soothing thing in itself. This Bullet motorcycle, which looks like an iron bell, how did it become so popular? There is a very interesting story behind it. In today's video, we are going to discuss how the Bullet came to India and became the pride of the Indians. But before that, we hope that you have subscribed to our channel and pressed the bell icon so that you get all the small and big information related to our channel at the right time. When the Bullet runs, the world gives way. In fact, Royal Enfield has not given this tagline to its Bullet motorcycle just like that. For bike riders, this bike is a ride of pride. Its look, the thumping sound and speed, like many special things, people turn around and look at it. When the sound of someone's Bullet echoes in today's village, people start asking each other who has come on the Bullet. This is the reason why people get their first booking to buy a Bullet and then wait for its delivery for months. In India, youths like the sound of the Bullet a lot. Its unique sound is the identity of the Bullet. The Bullet has gained popularity in the Indian markets not only because of its sound but also because of its royal look. In today's time, its popularity is so high that people buy many years old Bullets and then customize it and ride it. If Royal Enfield is bought second-hand, then its price is more due to its demand. In India, there is no such magnificent bike at the price of Royal Enfield. If its comparison is done with Harley-Davidson's bike, then the price of Harley-Davidson is quite high compared to Royal Enfield. Today, Royal Enfield is known for its powerful motorbikes. Its parent company started its business by making needles. A man named George Townsend started a needle-making company named Girway Works. In 1851, George stopped his needle-making company for some reason. The company stopped making needles, but the company didn't stop. George's son George Jr. and his brother started this company again under the name of Bone Shakers, and now, in this company, there is a cycle instead of a needle. In 1800s, this company started making its own parts and in the coming years, started making its own machines. Due to lack of money, in 1890, George Jr. started a partnership with another company, but his idea didn't work. The company got sold and its new owners were financiers Alpert Heated and R.W. In 1896, the company that made this cycle got a new name. The New Enfield Cycle Company Limited. The company that made the parts of the cycle thought of doing something new in 1899, and after that, they made a four-wheel cycle. Yes, friends, this company's desire to do something new kept increasing and it kept using new things on its cycle. This is how Albert E.D. and Robert Walker Smith used the Minerva Company's 240cc engine in 1901 and made a motorized cycle. And from here, they started making the bike of this company. Actually, it is said that the bike that is popular among us today was first made for the soldiers. From 1914 to 1918, this company supplied motorcycles to the UK, Belgium, France, USA and the Russian army during the First World War. Until then, the Bullet bike was not made. In 1932, the company started making the Bullet motorcycle with the sloper engine. After that, from 1949 to 1945, during the Second World War, the company started making cycles, generators and anti-aircraft guns along with military motorcycles. Among them, the most famous was the Flying Flea, which was used by parachute and gliding soldiers. Till now, the Bullet was made, but among the Indians it did not get any special recognition. And how could it get it? Because India was still tied to the chains of slavery and there was only poverty and starvation everywhere. In such a situation, for an ordinary Indian, let alone a Bullet, it was a big deal to even imagine another motorcycle. Despite all these things, if we talk about its arrival in India, then we will get to know interesting things, friends. Today, the Bullet bike that is standing at its door is considered rich by people. But at one time, the Indian government had ordered this bike for the army. Actually, the Indian government needed military bikes for the army. To fulfill this need, the government ordered 800 bikes for the Royal Enfield for the army in 1954. The Indian government was so fond of Bullets that in 1955 and 1956, along with the soldiers, they also asked for Bullets for the police. Although, it was not easy to fulfill such a big demand for the Royal Enfield. They fulfilled the first demand of the government with great difficulty. After that, when they got the second demand, the company decided to establish the assembly unit of Bullets in India. In 1955, the Enfield Cycle Company Limited and Madras Motors were partnered with two companies. Madras Motors decided to send some of its technocrats to England for training in the assembly of bullets. After completing their training, the bullet assembly units were started in India. In a short time, the bullet bike ready for the army and the police also became popular among the common people. Royal Enfield saw the increasing popularity of bullets among the people. In India, the UK made a sub-company and started its own supplementary company. Today's Chennai, which used to be Madras, the first assembly unit of the company was established here. In 1956, the company started the construction of the Royal Enfield bike in India. For a long time, the company used to order the machines from London for the bike and it was assembled in Madras. In 1957, Enfield India started making bullet components in India. At the time when all this was happening, at that time, Rajdoot and Java were very popular in the country. Despite this, the bullet craze continued. Now, the decade of 1960 had come when Royal Enfield started making classic motorcycles. But the biggest problem was that in this era, along with Royal Enfield, many other brands were also struggling to make their motorcycles all over the world. The result of this was that by 1970, the production of bullets in the UK was stopped. This is where the story of India's ownership of Royal Enfield began. In fact, after the company was shut down in Britain, an Indian subsidiary company took it under its wing. In 1990, Eicher bought 26% of the shares of Enfield India. The company was already burdened due to this bike. On top of that, in 1990, with the arrival of Hero Honda's CD100 bike, Royal Enfield was hit with another shock. And in a way, the bullet bike was out of the market at that time. But during this time, a person played a role on this lame horse while pretending to be a messiah and won the game. And this is also a very good story, friends. Rizal Eicher, who was previously a shareholder in this company, bought it in 1994. In 2000, the Eicher Group also had to take a loss in Royal Enfield. After bearing a loss of 20 crores, the owner of this group, Vikram Lal, had no choice but to sell Royal Enfield or close it. But before the company was shut down, a person took the responsibility of re-establishing it. And this person was Vikram Lal's son, Siddharth Lal. He took the company out of the loss from the administration and asked for 24 months to bring it to profit. Siddharth's demand was accepted and he was made its head. He gave the order to make this bullet according to the likes of the youth. Enfield got a second birth because of these tough decisions of his. And because of his own efforts, today we have started liking Royal Enfield so much. Siddharth changed the design of Royal Enfield a little. He targeted youths and bikers between the ages of 21 to 35. Taking special care of the youth, later he made the Bullet Royal Enfield Classic 350. Himalayan Scream 411, Himalayan Interceptor 650, and many variants of Continental GT. Special attention was given to the colors too. In just 2 years, Siddharth made it again in the market. In 2012, 81,000, in 2013, 1, 23,000 and in 2018, 3, 54,000 motorcycles were sold. And this year, Royal Enfield Motorcycle of the Year was selected. In addition, in the case of sales in 2015, he left Harley-Davidson behind. In 2021-22, more than 5 lakh bikes of Royal Enfield were sold. If we talk about some features of Royal Enfield, then it has provided its users with a great experience. If you look at Royal Enfield's Bullet motorcycle, it is considered to be its most popular and most sold bike. If we talk about its engine and power, then now Bullet comes in 2 engine options. First, Royal Enfield Bullet 350 is given a 340cc engine, which generates 28 Nm torque at 5,250 revolutions per minute, 19.8 bhp power and 4,000 revolutions per minute. Second, Royal Enfield Bullet 500 is given a 499cc engine, which generates 41.3 Nm torque at 5,250 revolutions per minute, 27.2 bhp power and 4,000 revolutions per minute. Both the engines are less than a 5-speed gearbox. So, in this way, all the bikes of Royal Enfield were popular with Indians and almost everyone's first choice came out. Anyway, which bike of Royal Enfield do you like? Do let us know in the comment box. With this, if you liked our video, then do like it and share it with your friends. Don't forget to click on the bell icon.